Today we're going to be talking about some Power Ranger news, and this is just dropped from Josh, who runs Toku Topics. Go check him out, go follow him on Twitter, but this is actually a very interesting thing that he's posted, which he had a conversation with someone from Hasbro. Anyway, let's jump into it and we'll go see what it is. We're going to give you some context to this. I believe that everyone likes to know where it comes from. And Josh basically goes, with today's news, which is about the Power Rangers reboot, I feel comfortable sharing that in July of last year, right after I leaked the ending of the Lightning Collection, I got more DMs from more sources than ever. Learned Brian Goldner's purchase of the brand in E1 apparently was done without consulting R&D. The company never wanted Power Rangers. Andy then responds, "You going to share these DMs, minus names obviously, so we can evaluate the situation for ourselves, or situation ourselves. Something like some big assumptions about Hasbro Goldner with no opportunity for us to actually phrase everything." So then Josh brings this bad boy to the table. And this is what it says. Only part of the receipt I can really provide. Now, they say, for Power Rangers, or for PR, there has been significant confusion and disagreement on what to do with the brand. One proposal was to cancel the live action series and switch to animation, fixing the problem about rotating casts. Research also found the core audience of 5 to 7-year-olds focus more on the colour of the Rangers, so it probably would have helped if the Rangers were always the same, like how Bruce Wayne is Batman. Now, someone did mention this as well, and when you read it, that doesn't really make sense. Now, let's break this little part down. First of all, if your core audience is 5 to 7s and they are more focused on the colour of the Rangers, then changing whoever's in the suit isn't actually a thing, is it? Like, it doesn't matter who they are because you're still having the colour of the suits. So yeah, it just doesn't really make sense if you're going to drop that part, because to me, it wouldn't matter who's in the suit. You could have the suits for a lot longer, running around, fighting, doing whatever. You have them longer, in the suits, and that's it. Like, if that's what your core audience is. But the core audience isn't just 5 to 7-year-olds. It's for the older audience as well. So I think you could have easily fixed this one up. So it carries on. Lastly, buying Power Rangers and E1 was done without checking in with the Hasbro research department. After the deals were in place, some in Hasbro spent months working through the details and trying to post facto justify the purchase decisions. Now, okay, you kind of think that the CEO would have actually checked in with the department and said, hey, we want to know this. But from what I remember, I think Brian did a favor to Saban. So I kind of really want to know what this would mean. Like, why would you do a favor for a friend if you're not going to check in with people in the company? And I feel like Power Rangers has done really well to some degree at the very beginning, because it's weird because oh man, how do I word this? You already have a fan base with this. Like, if you've got a new IP, it's a lot harder to kind of bring more people in. Like, will this work? Won't this work? How do we get this to roll smoothly? And the fact is that you have years and years worth of stuff anyway. But the main fact is that, yes, this is a Japanese product as well, but you have everything right there. It's not something where you have to come up with new ideas, but oh shit, man, like, we've just had the end of Beast Morphers and we don't know what we're doing. Like, oh man, like, do we have to make up our own Rangers? Do we have to make new things up? No. Yeah, that's what we have to do. Oh man, it's going to take a year for us to design everything and film it. No, you have the Sentai footage. You literally just choose one and go, King Oja. And then you just go, and there we go. And yet, you don't have to be like, oh man, we have to fucking make our own shit. Damn, what the fuck do we do? You literally just turn around and go, hey, Toya, yeah, can we just have the King Oja suits and some of the monsters? Oh, great, thanks. Oh, look, there you go. And be like, oh man, like, what do we do? Do we shoot original? Do we make stuff? Oh man, like, if only we had enough footage. Oh wait, we have the Sentai. Cut and paste. It really makes me kind of wonder, like, the people at Hasbro, where with Transformers, I'm guessing that you have to make brand new like stories. G.I. Joe, you have to sculpt new stuff for the characters and then you bring them in, and then it takes a lot longer. But with Power Rangers, it's pretty much literally handed to you on a silver platter, so you can go, oh, that's really nice eating, we're gonna eat today. Like, part of me is just really thinking is you had everything right there, and yet you still didn't know what to do with it. And again, I go back to this part where, you know, they focus, like the younger audience focuses on the color. So if you have Bruce Wayne, like it doesn't really work in my eyes. Like it doesn't really work. It doesn't matter who's in the suits. And I feel like when it comes to like the 5 to 7 year olds, a lot of companies just go, oh man, like, you know, these kids don't know how to have like a complex storyline. Like, oh man, like we might as well just put them on going like, hey, yeah, we're gonna fight the Rangers today, or we're gonna do this, and then just have them as like a Sesame Street type of thing. Like it's so fucking weird. Now, what I don't understand is you've had this product for such a while, or you know it's coming in. You would have had people to work on it, so you know what direction you would have gone with. You know what decisions that you would have made, and you pretty much look at what Bandai did: morphers, action figures, robots, weapons. That's pretty much it. Like, what is so hard that you don't know how to make the right decision? You know, what works? Oh, well, this new season's coming out. The audience is going to buy it. You have the younger fans that will go, oh man, I want that morpher. You have the older fans that go, oh man, I want that morpher. And then they do it. They buy your product. You had the Lightning collection. You knew I think you knew exactly what you had, because again, like I'm sure that they had Jason and they had Melissa, was it, on board? Or you had like 2 people from Saban that were working on it. So, or from like came in from Bandai. So again, like you have that right there of like you have people already. So why not just leave them on the team and go, right, you guys are now working for us. You will do everything. You guys are the head of these departments. You figure out everything. And thus, that would be the most easiest thing in the entire world. Like it's so fucking strange that they didn't know how to do it. It's like being significant from confusion and disagreement. What do we do? Let's make toys. No, let's not make toys. How about this morpher? No, they don't want this. Like, you could have been gods when it came to Power Rangers if you just had the right timing and everything. Like, you really could have, but you obviously didn't. One proposal was to cancel the live action series and switch to animation. Yeah, that would have been fine, but then you'd had to have still probably ended Power Rangers in the way that it was, rather than just going like, oh, thanks for this brand, and cancelled. Like, you could probably have done it with like Beast Morphers, or you could have done it at the end of Dino Fury, but obviously you wanted one season, didn't you? Oh, man, like, again, I feel like there are people who worked on it that were quite smart, but I feel like you needed someone to like grip those reins so hard and properly just do this like franchise properly. And there we go. That is literally all from the response that Josh put out there. Now, there are some really interesting things right there, which I probably will make a much larger video on, or talk about this in a few different posts, because I feel like there is quite a lot to kind of break down. This was just kind of my main thoughts on this. The thing that I think with this is that Power Rangers always has a blueprint ready for you. You easily could have taken this and could have followed the Japanese way. When it comes to a business point though, like, I feel like following that blueprint, what Bandai had done, you know, if people say like, oh my god, you're copying Bandai Japan, but if that fucking formula works, use it. I feel like Power Rangers can be properly understood. It just has the right team. But when you hear something like significant confusion and disagreement, then why don't you actually get people in that know how to work it? The fact is that you just have tons of stuff which can easily, you don't understand it, then actually have someone that will sit down and go through it. You had Simon, you had his team that knew how to work Power Rangers. You could have just literally kept saying, right, we're going to make a series, we're going to keep it going for a while, see how it runs, and then see if the money is there. The toys, the quality control were all so bad, bar parts of the Lightning collection. But to me personally, like, I feel like they could have sat down and done it. I feel like you probably had people just sit down with you and go, oh man, I hate Power Rangers. I don't want to work on this. They didn't put all their all into the actual franchise because they just didn't give a shit or something, or they just didn't care. And this has been literally mentioned before, but I'm just a little bit disappointed in Hasbro. I feel like if you can't figure out a brand that's been around for now 30 years, or at the time that you bought it, maybe like 28 years, 26 years, whatever, I feel like you easily could have figured it out. And again, it probably could have taken a while to get there, but you generally had the right people on the team with Jason and Melissa, I think, and then you just literally dropped them. Again, they could have helped the brand, but you wanted to make this your own and not really have anyone from Saban in there, which was your downfall. Anyway, I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this? Like, what do you feel about Hasbro in general? Let me know down below in the comments. I am going to leave it there. Thank you very much for being here. I really do appreciate you taking your time watching this video. So if you want to help the channel a little bit more, why not like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications. If you want to feel a little bit more charitable, then why not check out the Patreon as well as the channel memberships. It does help the channel grow. And why not check out the merchandise and pick up a t-shirt for yourself. Anyway, thank you very much for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimono Cat, Kura Stanada. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。